think it's interesting too.
I won't say it's perfect because this game is also very flawed.
Well, yeah, nothing is perfect, but it does feel like Game Freak put a lot of effort
It's
and
the most
tried
effort
something
they've
new.
tried in like 20 years.
Yeah.
So, since like Black and White.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Arceus literally, if you've played every Pokemon game, coming into Arceus is like a wake-up call because it's so different in so many ways.
Oh yeah. And even like the gameplay is different where you're actually so I guess like to kind of go because this one has a storyline with it where the main protagonist is sent back through time.
So they're both technically their ancestor and not their ancestor. It's weird. Time travel.
It's weird, but and as I was saying before, you're either like Dawn or like
Well, you're like a relative or ancestor, whatever, of Dawn or Lucas.
It's literally Dawn and Lucas, so
Well, no,
that's literally the character.
It's
models.
Akari, and I don't know what the guy's name was.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Bill, a one-time Instagram blogger and now a podcaster.
And I'm Alex, the chaotic neutral,
And together we are the Gaming and Collecting Podcast
a brother-sister duo,
that talks about gaming.
and also anime.
And don't forget the collecting, sometimes.
Ah, forget it. We're just a nostalgia podcast at this point.
But anyways, guys, thanks for joining us as we discuss the games that shaped us. So, how you been?
My eye is itchy.
Your eye's always itchy. You should really go to the doctors about that.
No. Well, no, it's always watering. It's just itchy right now. Well, I poked it, and now I keep poking it to make it not itchy, but it makes it more itchy because if you keep itching something, it's just going to keep being itchy. You have to leave it alone. But I have no self-control.
Well, either way, so it's been probably about a week since the last time we recorded anything.
Yeah. Bill's birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Bill.
And
Everyone
at the
say
time
happy
this comes
birthday.
out, it'll already be like 2 weeks past. So.
Well, happy birthday, Bill. It's
Yeah,
tomorrow.
you're closer to dying.
Shut the fuck up. Don't say that. You're going to
Anyways,
be... How old are you going to be, Bill?
I don't want to disclose that.
He's going to be 54.
Oh yeah, totally. Feel like it sometimes. so.
No. You have a nice spiffy new sweatshirt on.
Yep.
It's Inuyasha. He
Found
got
it.
it at Target.
Yeah, it was like
Target.
$30.
And I bought Christmas bins for like $10. So if you need bin storage, go to Target right now and get it.
Yeah, pick up the extra Christmas shit they're trying to get rid of.
Yeah, I don't know if there'll be any by the time this comes out, but it was at the time we went.
Yeah, a little bit. Other than that, though, really haven't done a whole lot. It's after New Year's, so we're finally into 2023.
Yep.
And we've been catching up on the animes a little. Alex has been on like a binge of like watching like 30 different animes. So.
Yeah, I watched Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun, and I really liked it. I recommend it if you just want to watch like a funny comedy. That's kind of supernatural. Well, it is supernatural. That one's fun, and I started watching Shaman King. Because I'd seen it popped up a lot, and I was like, okay, you know what, I'm just going to give it a try. It's one of the Netflix ones, but it's also similar to, like, Hunter x Hunter, where it was a redo. They, redid it with modern animation. I've been enjoying it. It's interesting.
Yep. Other than that, been catching up on the the manga collecting a little bit.
Yes. I got so much One Piece recently.
Yeah, you've got almost like more than 70% of it now.
Literally, I only need 3 more of the, I've been collecting the 3-in-1, so I only need 3 more of those, so 9 more volumes, and then I'm caught up.
Nice. Yep, other than that, I've been collecting a few other things.
Souls of the Damned.
Hell yeah.
Bill's the devil.
Yeah,
Dun, dun.
and then, other than that, in terms of what we've been playing, I'm getting close to finishing my like 12th, 13th, whatever playthrough of Persona 4 Golden, so that'll be good.
Good for you.
Just in time for it to come out on all the modern consoles, and I can play it again. Because I have no self-control.
Nope. I've been playing Pokemon Violet.
Yeah, we'll be getting to that later.
And I'll talk about my
Yeah.
opinions on it later.
Yeah, and also I've been playing a bit of Pokemon Black and White. I've been
But yeah, me too.
trying to get back into that one because that's honestly the last really
Good one.
solid Pokemon game there's ever been.
Heck yeah.
But other than that, so now I guess talking Pokemon, we should probably get into our topic for this episode.
No way.
And that would actually be Pokemon, yeah.
Yeah. Well, a revisit of like one of our very early episodes. I believe wasn't this like episode like 10 or something?
No, this was like episode 7, I want to say.
Yeah, like
Or 8 or 6 actually. It was episode 6.
it was very early on.
So we had for episode 6 we had done a reaction, our one attempt at a reaction episode.
And never again.
Because we were like, "Oh, this is the hip thing that people do. We should try that." And then we realized it was dumb, but
Yeah. Well, Bob.
lessons learned, I guess. But it was a reaction because we were reacting to it. Was like a triple fold.
Oh, ow! Tilly just bit me.
You probably deserved it.
I was petting her. She's a pain. Oh.
But anyways, so
Oh, we should also address if the audio sounds different.
we're testing out a new mic for this episode, and we're gonna see how it goes. It was a bit stressful, and it's been a pain, but I think we got it.
Yeah, but that's usually how it works. Because I remember when we first used the old mic, and it took a couple tries of us to figuring out what was the best way to use it.
Well, that was us trying to plug 2 mics into one slot, and it wasn't working.
Yeah.
This is just a new mic that's confusing, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
So anyways, back to the topic. So we had got like a triple fold of like Pokemon announcements because we had got the Diamond and Pearl remakes.
Yep.
Where Alex had like a meltdown over, which was great.
Yeah.
Pokemon Arceus, the big interesting one of the 3, and then a new Pokemon Snap,
Yep.
which was just because fans really wanted a new Pokemon Snap.
Yeah.
And I remember we were very negative about the Diamond and Pearl remakes. We
Yep.
were positively optimistic about Arceus, and we thought that Snap looked pretty.
Yeah.
So, I guess going into it now, so obviously we've picked up all 3 of these, and we've played all 3 of them to an extent,
Yep.
some more than others.
Yes.
So I guess going down, I remember the reaction to Diamond and Pearl was bad.
Yeah. It definitely was. Well, especially because in the past we've already had remakes come down the line, like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and then Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So there was already like a tier of like, okay, these are remakes, and this is the standard the remake needs to be, because those were both
Well, especially
excellent
Alpha
remakes.
Sapphire and Omega Ruby, which were like basically new games.
Yeah. So it definitely put a different, level of like, hey, like this is what you got to reach because you've already reached here. So I think to start out, when we first saw the trailers, and we had just come off of Pokemon, I don't even
Sun
remember.
and Moon,
No, not Sun and Moon.
Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield. And
I
Sword
fell
and
asleep,
Shield,
so-
where it may not have been like the greatest game in the world, it definitely brought some interesting new concepts that have followed with the legacy games, as well as beautiful graphics. You gotta admit, that game looked beautiful.
I think Let's Go looked better than Sword and Shield.
Well, no, yeah, but still, like it did have really good graphics.
To
It
a
may not have been the
degree.
best of like. Sorry, maybe I'm not remembering clearly, but there was already a standard of like, okay, we can do 3D all the way. The character runs 360. This is what we kind of expect for Pokemon Pearl and Diamond remake. But that's not what we got. It was just kind of the same. Honestly, my opinion, it's the same exact game with just more modern graphics, and really most of the 3D is just in the battles, and you still have that same top-down view. You just have almost 3-dimensional character models, but they still are that top-down. So it's just more like I don't know. That's the only way I can describe it. It's basically, honestly, the same exact game with a newer graphics.
Yeah, it's the same game with a coat of paint for the most part. There really
Yeah.
isn't even any reasons to. I think I've said in multiple reviews that it's literally just a more convenient way to play Gen 4.
And it's also funny because like Gen 4 really isn't the most like loved generation.
It's come around a little bit in recent
Yeah.
times. Like people are starting to enjoy it more now because
Yeah.
nostalgia's kicking in and people are tired of the new ones.
Mm.
What's interesting about this game was it wasn't even made by Game Freak.
Yeah.
It was developed by a studio called ILCA.
Yep.
I don't know anything about ILCA other than they made this.
Yeah.
And they're literally the first main series titles not to be developed by Game Freak because Game Freak was busy with another game we'll be getting to later.
Yeah. And I think the main problem of this game is honestly like the comparable previous remakes.
Well, yeah, with Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby literally.
They took the game and they added on to it. I remember I played through. I beat the Elite Four and Diamond and Pearl, but I really don't remember any added content. I think the only added content is like, okay, now you have the XP share,
Yeah,
so it's easier.
quality of life improvements, which make the game easier because the modern Pokemon games have just gotten progressively easier over time.
Yeah, and I'll add more to that later. But
I will say the battle scenes are really well done. Like those look very
yeah,
nice. It's a very well put together game. There's no glitches, which we'll be getting to more later. That's for
Yes.
sure. It runs pretty good. I'll give
no,
it that.
it does run good.
And
does.
the soundtrack I thought was very well done.
Yeah. No, and I think honestly, like, it's not bad. It's, if you've never played Diamond and Pearl, I'd say, pick up the remake because really you're going to get the same experience as playing on the
I'd
DS.
say pick up the remake just because the DS version costs like $500
Well,
these
yeah,
days.
that one.
Exaggeration, it's more like 200, but still.
Yeah. So that is also true. But
There's
also,
also just there's so many issues with those. The problem is it's like it felt so lazy. Especially because like this is a gen that has a very dedicated fan base despite being one of the more divisive, I guess you could say, Pokemon games.
yeah. Well, and I definitely think, I think also the reason why they made the remake too is because Arceus pulls a lot from this generation.
Yes.
With Team Galactic
Yes.
and the main trainer in Arceus are the main trainers from Pokemon Diamond
Their
and Pearl.
ancestors.
Yeah. Well, not really.
I don't. It's confusing.
It's confusing.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's
But,
Pokemon.
I think that's partially why they kind of did do the remakes for that. But I think they're more...
Well, I think they did the remakes because fans really wanted them.
Well, I guess actually people do say it had glitches.
Yeah, but
really...
not. It might have had glitches, but not toward. We'll be getting to glitches later.
Oh, the art style is like chibi. It has the
Yeah.
chibi art style.
It literally looks like the original game's graphics, just 3D.
It actually does have pretty decent reviews. I mean,
Yeah,
73 out of 100 on Metacritic.
Alex, it's a Pokemon game.
Yeah. So,
We can talk. It could be garbage and it'll still do well.
yeah. It's definitely not a bad game, but there's nothing like it's not special.
It's unremarkable.
If you haven't played Diamond and Pearl, play the remake. But other than that, like,
It's literally
It's there.
it's a more convenient way to play Gen 4.
yeah, it's basically it.
But moving on, so that came out, and I mean, I had my fun with it. I won't say it was, like, literally, I still think the DS version is the Platinum is the way to play this gen. I will say the battle system ran better, because Gen 4 was infamous for its very slow battle system,
Yeah.
which Platinum fixed to a degree, but this game runs much better than
What was that?
Bottle.
Oh.
This game runs much better than the original Diamond and Pearl, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But anyways, so moving on from Diamond and Pearl, then we got Arceus came out. Well, technically, Snap came out first, but we didn't play it.
Yeah.
The second it came out.
This
'cause
is the order we played it.
I wasn't gonna pay $50 for Snap right away. I was gonna wait till I had money to
Yeah.
really spend on that. But Arceus was the next one we played, and I remember picking Arceus up day one, which is funny because there wasn't like the huge, like crazy like line of people to get it like there was with previous Pokemon games. Which I mean was better because I just literally went. Also, it was still during COVID, so that might also be why. But
And a lot of people buy digitally now too.
they do. I remember picking it up though, and I was kind of like, I have zero expectations for this, so I'm just gonna play it and enjoy.
Yeah.
And So the game runs on the Breath of the Wild engine,
Yes.
which is very interesting. Although it becomes very clear very fast that the Switch just is not powerful enough for what they want to do with this engine.
Mm.
But besides that, it looks very good
Yeah.
off the bat.
I will agree. It does look really good, and I'm just gonna say it. I love this game. I still play it. I think it's really fun.
I like the concept of this game.
I think it's interesting too because
I won't say it's perfect because this game is also very flawed.
nothing is perfect, but it does feel like Game Freak put a lot of effort
It's
and
the most
tried
effort
something
they've
new.
tried in like 20 years.
Yeah.
So, since like Black and White.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Arceus literally, if you've played every Pokemon game, coming into Arceus is like a wake up call because it's so different in so many ways.
Oh yeah. And even the gameplay is different where you're actually so I guess like to kind of go because this one has a storyline with it where the main protagonist is sent back through
in
time.
So they're both technically their ancestor and not their ancestor. It's weird.
Time
travel.
It's weird, but and as I was saying before, you're either like Dawn or like
Well, you're like a relative or ancestor, whatever, of Dawn or Lucas.
It's literally Dawn and Lucas, so
Well, no,
that's literally the character
it's
models.
Akari, and I don't know what the guy's name was.
Yeah,
I forgot.
Akari, but it's basically them. So you're sent back in time, and it's like basically early Japanese colonization. And like one of the first things that you see that's a little surprising is like you're introduced to these people called the Survey Corps, called Team Galactic. And as you know in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, Team Galactic is the bad guys. So it was pretty weird when you're like, what? Like, this is weird.
I do love exploring that first little village though, which is actually, I believe it's Golden. No, not Goldenrod. It's one of the main cities from Gen 4 is the little hub world that you explore.
I don't remember what it's called.
I can't remember the name. There's so many Pokemon town names at this point.
Yeah. But it is, it was interest. It was an interesting, it was, I don't know. But it is interesting when you're kind of pulled in and it's just like, oh, okay, like you're part of the Galaxy Expedition team. And basically, I think you start out, you have to like earn your spot and be like, okay, like I'm
Jubilife
strong
Village,
enough.
which is Jubilife City.
Yeah. That's it. And you have to basically earn your spot and to become a member of the Survey Corps. And then from there, you can kind of have free roam of the game.
Yeah, so the basic gist of this game is you kind of have to explore around these big open world like area, basically right out of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. And you kind of just like search around and you catch Pokemon. There's really no like well, there is team building, but it's not quite the same because there's not really gyms.
So rather than gyms, what you do is you fight. You have to fight several powerful like noble Pokemon, which these Pokemon are. You'll see it in the game. I don't remember what exactly it's called. It's like frenzy mode, where they basically like they'll have like red eyes and like they'll be a lot
Pokemon
stronger.
are fucking pissed.
Yeah, this is the only game where a Pokemon will come up and literally attack you and you can die.
Yes.
Well, pass out. Not die, pass out. But basically you have to end up fighting all these noble Pokemon, and while you're working on Team Galaxy, you're also encountering these the Diamond tribe and like the Pearl tribe, which Diamond and Pearl. So
because this game basically takes place in an early version of Hoenn. I mean, not Hoenn. Sinnoh, which is called like Hisui or something.
Yeah. And I won't lie, I haven't completely finished the game yet.
It's a lot of games.
There's a lot of gameplay to it, and I'm also the type of Pokemon player where I like to grind and grind and grind, so I'm like always really strong going into the battles, because that's just how I do it. So I haven't completely finished it yet, but
another thing that's very apparent with this game is the battle system is very different because now you have kind of like this like battles happen, but you can like roam around the battlefield at the same time. Like it's
Yeah.
turn-based, but it's also kind of action-based at the same time.
Well, because you have to be careful with your character because like it's not like your character is set in a certain position.
Yeah. The Pokemon
You
don't
have
care
to-
that they're fighting another Pokemon. They will still attack you.
Yeah, like if you're in the way, you will get hit by her. So you have to be careful where you are. And like if you're running around and you run into like a frenzied Pokemon, they'll actually like send a knockback and like hurt you. So you have to carefully. There's a lot of sneaking around, which I kind of like in the game. Like
I like, even though a lot of people didn't like because it was too different.
Oh, see, I really liked being able to like sneak in the bushes and like just like casually like throw a Pokeball and catch a Pokemon. That was cool. Like it just seemed
You know what this
correct.
game kind of felt like? It felt like the Safari Zone. It just kind of like the whole game, just catching wild Pokemon.
Another big thing too is that everything, since like you're back in a old period of time, like you have to craft everything that you have, and I really
Crafting.
enjoyed crafting, like making the potions, making the revives.
Old style Pokeballs that you have to literally make out of the
Yeah.
apricots,
Yeah.
which was a nice nod to continuity. It's like, wow, Game Freak actually does kind of care sometimes. Yeah. It was noticeable though when a lot of shit happens on the screen. This game chugs.
Yeah, it definitely it will struggle sometimes.
Unfortunately, the problem is the Switch is just not powerful enough for what they want to do. The Switch is plenty powerful, but like we've kind of hit that point now where like this is the ceiling of the console, and like they can't really go any higher than they're already at. So now we've kind of reached this whole kind of like area of kind of like, I guess you could say, concern in a way,
Yep.
which we'll talk more about with another title.
Yeah.
I did also like the starters idea where they kind of just pick 3 randos from like 3 different
Yeah.
games.
I did enjoy that too. I'm trying to remember which one I picked.
And I picked Cyndaquil because of course I did.
Did I pick Cyndaquil? What were the 2 other options? It was
Cyndaquil, Blathers, and Oshawott.
Oh, I picked Blathers.
I know you did.
Well, and it was kind of cool too because they had different versions of the
I don't know
final
what its actual name
evolutions.
is. It's just
Yeah,
Blathers.
it's just Blathers in our mind. I picked Blathers, and he actually turned into like a grass fighting type
Mhm.
instead of grass flying, which was a cool combo. And then I believe Cyndaquil was like Fire Ghost,
Yeah,
Fire
Yeah.
Ghost or Fire
I
Psychic.
believe that's what it was.
Yeah. But it's kind of like the story is the same where you're going along and you're fighting gyms, but rather than gyms, it's the special Pokemon, and then eventually you'll go and you'll I think you'll fight. So I don't know who you fight because I haven't played that part yet. But I'm assuming you'll catch like the legendary. So there'll be a final fight and you'll catch the legendaries. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I like the overall idea. Definitely a lot of shit that they could probably improve though. Like there's
Oh yeah.
it certainly was more of a concept than it was an actual game, I want to say.
I disagree. I don't agree with that. I think it's definitely a game.
Well, it's a game, but
I don't think you've played enough to determine that.
I don't know. I feel like it feels very bare bones to me in a lot of ways though.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I think I've played it a lot more than you. That's the thing. I have definitely played it way more than you have. So I've definitely found out a lot more. But as you go along, like a big thing that you want to do is you want to keep catching Pokemon. Because if you keep catching Pokemon, you kind of rank up in the Survey Corps. And if you continue ranking up, you can like create new items and stuff. Better Pokeballs, better potions, and more items. And there's a lot. And I think too, one thing is like you also can utilize all the quests. Because in this game, it's very quest centered, where you can run into people from the town and they can ask you like, hey, like, I'm interested. I want to see this Pokemon, but in like this form of it. Can you like, if you have one, swing it by me? So there's definitely a lot to it. I don't think it's very bare bones. I think there's a lot to it. Especially as you go along, there's a lot of replayability as well. Because when you first start out, you don't really have any. You eventually get like Rider Pokemon where you have like the goat guy, I forget his name, but you can you have one that helps you travel around faster, you have one that helps you find secret items, and then another that helps you like climb up things. And when you get that Pokemon, that's when you're really able to explore more, because now you can go up. So I won't agree with you on that. I definitely don't think it's bare bones.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's still more. This was an idea that could be more fleshed out.
I mean, yeah, but I think they did a lot with it. I just don't think you've actually experienced it yet.
I don't know.
How far did you get in it?
Like 50 hours.
Like, what did you do though?
I've done a bunch of the boss fights. I've gone around done quests. I've been crafting. I've been exploring on the Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just I have differing opinions. I think they definitely added. There's definitely a lot to it as long as you keep doing it.
I don't know. It might just be my taste too, because I found it got boring after a while.
I don't know. I didn't think it was boring.
Well, there wasn't enough variety for me. I don't know.
I don't know. I disagree.
Maybe you also like these games more than I do now. So
Maybe.
But anyways, so moving on. I think good game. We'll get to it later, but I wish they kept up with this idea.
Yeah, I definitely hope that they kind of maybe do another one or something. Maybe like do an old feudal version of like another area.
Yeah,
That would
I'd
definitely
like
be...
that, but for some reason I don't think they're going to do it.
Well, I don't know. You never know. I really liked how you had to be more creative with the boss fights and stuff, and like your character actually had to be really involved with like dodging stuff and dodging attacks. It was definitely more interesting than like the regular play. I don't know. I think also too, I really liked Breath of the Wild when I played it. So I think I also really enjoyed this because there's a lot of like, not similarities, but I guess like the style of gameplay is similar.
Well, it's open-ended.
Yeah, the open-ended aspect. And I think I really like games like that, where I can kind of just do what I want and then follow the story, but also kind of do what I want.
I prefer more structured games, so that's probably why I'm not... I like it, but I'm not like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
But anyways, so then the third game we had talked about was... This one was literally just because fans really wanted one, because I couldn't see any reason why Nintendo would make this game otherwise, but new Pokemon Snap.
Yep.
Which I have to, just a side note, I really fucking am tired of the whole new Nintendo idea where it's like they keep just making games and calling them new so-and-sos.
Oh.
I still think the most, because it started with new Super Mario Brothers.
Yes.
Which was like, it's Mario Brothers, but it's new. And I'm like, cool. You could have called it just Mario Brothers 5 or something. I don't know.
Oh.
The most egregious was by far Yoshi's New Island. That one was dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. So new Pokemon Snap. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, this game was literally a sequel to the. What year did the original come out?
Is it 1999?
99, yeah, on the N64, which was literally just a.
Ugh.
All the game was just a way to.
N64.
Yeah, we get it.
Ew.
No one cares about your bad take.
How dare you get out of my house? You're evicted. I'm evicting you. This is a Jaguar house. We don't talk about the N64.
Either way, so it was a sequel to the 1999 N64 game. And the whole point of that game was literally just to show off the character models of the Pokemon in 3D. Like, there's literally... It's just a rail shooter where you take pictures of Pokemon. That is all the game is. And the sequel is pretty much identical.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, it's made... so the original Pokemon Snap was developed by HAL Laboratory, who makes a ton of Pokemon and Nintendo games.
Yep.
The sequel, believe it or not, was developed by Bandai Namco, of all things.
Huh.
Which I think is interesting because they also made the newest Smash Brothers, and they were making Metroid Prime 4 before they got fired by Nintendo.
Yikers.
For, I guess, not making a good enough game. But I mean, we still don't even have Prime... Whatever. Metroid Prime 4 is probably never coming out. But
Another story.
Either way. So... Yeah, so new Pokemon Snap is essentially, it's just Pokemon Snap again, but now in pretty HD with all the new modern Pokemon.
Yep.
And we played a little bit of it just to get an idea because there's not a whole lot to say about this game other than it looks really pretty. It's actually,
does.
out of the three here, it's actually the best looking one in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't have to do that much because it's on rails.
Yeah. It's definitely pretty. And it's definitely fun. It was funny though when we first looked at like the character models of the professor and like his little
Yeah,
assistant.
they look like mannequins a
They,
lot.
they did look very mannequin-esque, and I also was thinking Ape Escape for some reason the whole time. They just really
Yeah.
reminded me of the Ape Escape character models.
The human model's not the greatest.
The human, yeah. They do
Uh,
look very like, I am a robot.
You don't see them very often though, so it's kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, in the original game, it was literally just a 2D cutout of Professor Oak. So, but besides that,
I also miss Professor Oak. I wish they brought him back. Mr. Oaky.
is he even in the Pokemon anime anymore?
He should be.
I don't even
It should
know.
just be about him. They should do a spin-off show called Professor Oak's Daily Live.
No one would watch that.
I would.
I'm sure you would, but no one else would because they held the guard to Ash. Ash is gone now.
No! He's finally not 12!
He was never 12. He was 10.
Oh, he's finally not 10! See, I didn't even know.
Supposedly, even though he had like 3 birthdays during the
I
series.
actually think they did do an I saw something about they did like an age up for like the last couple episodes.
Oh man, I don't
Yeah,
know.
so,
The last
I don't
time
know.
I watched the Pokemon anime
I
was
could be wrong though because I saw it on Twitter and Twitter is unclear with some type of information.
Yeah. No, the last time I cared about the Pokemon anime was Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So yeah, this game, character human models, who cares? They're the actual Pokemon in game look great.
Yeah, and the apples.
Yeah. It's basically the same game though. You go down these little like on rail sections and you just kind of take pictures of the wildlife as you go down. You get scored based on how you how many Pokemon you get and the kind of pictures you take, or if you're Alex, you just spam the photo button the entire time.
Hey, it worked.
Yeah, some of her photos were better than
I
mine.
think most of them were, and he
No,
was trying.
Some of
so
the
hard.
some of them were trash, and they literally came up as trash.
Some of them were good though. Like my Pichu photo and my Grookey.
I just didn't even get Pikachu because mine was all screwed up.
Yeah. My favorite one was the one where you were like, yeah, mine's gonna be better. And it was like the little ring Pokemon, and then it was like mine.
And hers was like this
significant-
blurry fucking shit, and I was
It
like,
was like blurry, and most of it was missing.
yeah, I was like,
Scored
what the fuck?
better. It was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I got Bidoof, Badonk, Donk.
Yeah. Also, the Magikarp that was like flopping around on top of the water.
On top. But accurate.
I know, it's like how pathetic can it be? I mean, it will evolve and kill us all, but
Yes, I have one right now on my team for a different game.
Mhm.
Dun, dun, dun.
Speaking of a different game, we'll be getting to that in 1 second. But before that, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
So long, farewell. Dun, dun, dun.
And we're back.
Hi,
So,
how are you? What are you drinking? We forgot to say that.
well, I finished this ginger ale, so that's done.
Oh, I'm drinking a Sprite. Lemon
Yeah,
lime.
You have an addiction.
It says recycle me. This is my last one. I'm going on a diet because I'm fat and ugly. So.
Even your cat's judging you.
Oh, she loves me. Hi, baby. What, did you hear that, everyone? Jingle jangles, tilly bangles.
Her cat. But anyways, so I think it's safe
She's
to
the third she's the honorary co-host.
Yeah. It's safe to say these games came out pretty much exactly as we expected them.
Yeah.
Diamond and Pearl was meh. Arceus was very good.
What?
Your
She's not
cat's
doing
being
anything.
a crackhead over there.
She's literally not doing anything.
She was about to jump on the table, which isn't really secure right now, but
Hey, you just let her. Oh, she's rubbing. She rubbing.
your cat.
She's
But anyways,
so cute.
so
Tell her you love her.
hello, Miss Till. Anyways, so games were pretty much expected. Diamond and Pearl was meh. Arceus was a good idea. Didn't hold my interest very long. Like most Pokemon games.
Rude.
And Snap was a fun little blast of nostalgia that I feel like is great when you really need something just mindless, but it's not a whole lot of game.
Yeah.
But cool, it happened, I guess. I mean, Pokemon fans, as we're going to talk about in the next game, Pokemon fans will buy anything. So, we weren't originally going to talk about these, but now that they're out and Alex has been playing Violet nonstop, we're going to talk about the newest Pokemon games, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. They're back to colors now.
Yeah.
So, because we started at colors, went to gemstones.
Yep.
Back to colors.
Yep.
Then talking about sex chromosomes.
Nope.
Then planetary objects.
Yes.
Then artillery. Now we're back to colors.
Oh yeah, Sword and Shield.
Yes.
I was like, what? And then
So now we're back to colors.
yes. Full
So,
circle.
yeah.
What will be next?
So this game literally. So here's the fun fact: Arceus and this game came out in the same year.
Yeah, no, that is and it shows.
It shows because literally everything. How many? So just be real. How many things from Arceus did they actually carry over?
I mean the whole characters being able to run around, but that was also in Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
I guess you can crouch in
Ooh.
the grass.
Woo.
But I guess like how the Pokemon battles in the
So in other words,
I don't really know.
these two games were probably in development at the same time.
Yeah, it's more I'd say similar to Sword and Shield, if anything.
Yes. So as I predicted, they basically took nothing from Arceus and made another standard generic Pokemon game.
And it definitely shows. Like you can definitely know that the game was rushed.
Oh, almost like they made two games in 1 year and probably at the same budget.
I mean, if you haven't seen all the videos of the glitches and
Yeah,
everything,
these games-
I'd
so-
recommend you take a look because it's very.
I guess
funny.
going back, these games were announced, and I remember everyone just kind of was like, they're already announcing the next Pokemon games.
Yeah.
Arceus just came out. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I remember seeing them and being like, that looks like a Pokemon game.
Yep.
And I remember hating the way the characters looked.
Yeah.
So the recent Pokemon games have done really well at making the characters look older, kind of like they're growing with the audience.
Yeah.
These ones, they look like children again.
Yeah, they definitely look on the younger side, but it's also funny. So this one like it starts out and it's like, "All right, honey, it's your first day of school. Got to go to school." And like literally anyone can go to school at any age in this one, which I mean like, all right. But it is weird when you see like grown adults wearing the same school uniform as you.
What, you've never seen Spider-Man 1 where you got like a 40-year-old woman in high school?
Sure.
I love that movie.
It is a little funny, a little silly.
Yeah. So these games kind of got announced, and then everyone was kind of like, whatever, Pokemon, everyone's gonna buy it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Then they come out, and oh my god,
Yep.
the glitches.
Oh yeah. I mean, unless you've been under a rock, I'm assuming you've seen all the insane glitches of just
The characters falling through the floor. The best is riding around on the animals, and they're invisible, so you're literally riding the invisible boatmobile.
And I will say, I started playing this after I believe they've already patched some
And
stuff
it's still
out.
glitchy as shit.
And there's still glitches. Like there's sometimes I'll be in a battle, I'll be like, "Oh, the ground's gone. Where's the ground?" But my Pokemon stays.
Or the camera just whacks out on you.
That is one of the things I will say. This game has a lot of weird camera issues. Especially my biggest like gripe with this game is that they have like areas where you climb up these twisty tower stair steps, and usually in most games, like if you're in like something like that, the camera kind of
The camera will shift to a fixed position so you
Yeah.
can get up the stairs.
and it will kind of move with you, but not this one. So you have to like jimmy your character while moving the camera, but don't move the camera too far, or else you'll fall off the stairs. So that's one of my gripes. With
It's
this
interesting
game.
too how points of this game look better and worse than Arceus at times.
Yeah, there's definitely things where I'm like, wow, this looks really pretty, and then there's some where I'm like, But
Like, my favorite scenes are like the scenes of them in the classroom, and like I swear every other child in that room only moves at like 3 frames per second.
yeah, like you'll definitely notice it like with the characters that are walking around, especially like in a town setting. You'll just see them like start walking, and they'll just like you'll just see their arms and legs go like eh, eh.
Or your character's
Like,
neck will just randomly snap and like do like straight up Doki Doki
I
Literature
haven't
Club.
seen anything like that.
I've seen videos of it. I'm
I
like,
think that's like before, because when I first got the game, it immediately was like, okay, download, update the software. So I think they did go and patch a bunch of stuff
it's
out.
almost like the game was rushed.
It definitely was. But I will say, I've been having a lot of fun with it.
When you're not complaining that the game's too easy.
Yeah, but that is also one of my biggest gripes, is that from the start of the game, the only thing I've bought at a store is Pokeballs. But that's just because I'm trying to complete the Pokedex this time, so I've just been going through a ton of them trying to catch Pokemon.
You know what I find really amusing too? This is now the second main series game we've got since Let's Go, and they've literally never tried the Let's Go formula again.
Yeah.
Almost like it was bad.
Yeah. But anyways, as I was saying though, the only thing I've bought is Pokeballs. And that's all I've needed, because the amount of items they give you in this game it's kind of like a little cuckoo to me. Like I hadn't even gone to a gym, and I already had like hyper potions, max potions, and revives, and I'm just like in full heals, and I'm like, I shouldn't be getting these until at least halfway through the game, like, because gradually it starts you out with the weaker items, and then you unlock the other ones. So, but I haven't even needed to unlock them because I'm just going around and finding them everywhere.
One point I'll give to freaking the Diamond and Pearl remakes is, at least other than like adding in like XP share and stuff like that, at least they kept most of the stuff the same.
Yeah.
Like, difficulty wise.
Like, my Pokemon are at least, I'm about to fight one of the gyms, and my Pokemon are at least 20 levels higher. The amount of rare candies I have already is not, like, I think I have around 50 rare candies.
Yeah, we can just
And then you
halfway level up
also-
a fucking Pokemon.
And then you also have the XP candies as well, which those you get. So that's one thing they actually kept from Sword and Shield, were like these raid battles, which I actually like the raid battles and stuff. I think they're fun, and they were a different and good choice they added to Pokemon. But the amount of stuff you get, especially in those battles, because you get XP candy in those battles, but you also get items and fruits, and you get items that you can sell in the shops. So right now I have about like $500,000, and I've only beaten like 3 gyms. So like I feel like the game it's a bit too easy, but also I also grind a lot. So if you grind, you can level up your Pokemon very quickly. Almost too quickly. Because I'm actually almost at level 50 Pokemon, and I've only beaten 2 gyms fully. I'm going on to my 3rd gym. But I will say they also have, there's like different things that you can do. So like you kind of have 3 storylines in the game, where you have the Victory Road storyline, which is the classic, alright, beat all the gyms and fight the Elite Four. Then you also have the Starfall Street storyline, which is your, basically your team that you fight against. But because of the setting of the story, you're actually fighting people who are from your school, but they're kind of like, they formed a team when they don't show up to class, and they're mean to people, so you're kind of stopping it. And I believe the whole point of it too, I haven't completely followed it, but just from my context clues, I've beaten 2 of the Team Star people, and it seems like these people were just like people who weren't popular, bullied, and then they kind of made their own little squad. So, but now that they've made it, it's almost grown too big, and it's become something that they didn't want it to be. Like, they wanted it to be a thing for just them, but then it turned into like not niceness. So I think your secret, the plot is that you're helping someone disband them who kind of put them together. So that's what's happening. And then my favorite one is the Path of Legends, where you end up fighting the Titan Pokemon, which are these giant Pokemon that have been eating these like mystical herbs. But my favorite part about it is that the reason why you're helping this guy named Arvin, and he kind of comes off as like a little standoffish in the beginning, But once you actually, it's after you like help him like the second or third time, he actually reveals the reason he's doing it is because his Pokemon got hurt in medicines and like heals, and like the Pokemon Center doesn't work to help it. So you're trying to find the herbs to give to the dog so he can like feel, he can get healed, and then like slowly it's helping. So that's my favorite storyline. I really enjoy it because it's just like, oh, we're helping the little doggy Pokemon get better, and it's like, oh, it's really cute. It's my favorite part of it. And also, whenever you get the herbs, you feed it to your your legendary Pokemon that you get in the very beginning of the game.
Of course you do.
And he's like your little bicycle, and you can just ride
the
around
invisible
on him.
Mobile, yes.
Yeah.
Because he glitches out
but
a lot.
Each time, I haven't really experienced it a lot. They've definitely patched a lot out because I really haven't run into anything like that.
Yeah.
But I was each time like you beat one of the Titan Pokemon, you actually level up your legendary, and he gets some of his power back because the whole story is like you find him and he's injured, and then you give him a sandwich and he feels better, and then he's slowly getting his power back.
You say there's 3 routes. Do you like have to? Can you only do one at a time, or do they all happen as you're playing the game?
No, they all happen as you're playing.
I thought you meant like you pick one.
No. Yeah, there's just like
you phrased that off.
I meant like 3 different like storylines.
So it's like
happening
any
at
other
the same
Pokemon
time.
game where there's just different things going on at different points.
Yeah, but the thing is about this game is that you can literally kind of go wherever you want. So if you wanted to take on the last gym leader, you technically could at the very beginning of the game, as long as you get there.
Interesting. So so it's actually kind of like that ROM hack Pokemon Crystal Clear, which was essentially an open world Pokemon. It was literally a ROM hack of Pokemon Crystal, but they made it open world, and you could start from any gym.
Yeah.
In either Hoenn or Kanto, and you can just go wherever you want. It's actually a really cool ROM hack that's actually worth checking out at some point.
Yeah. So I actually, when I first did this game, I actually went to the wrong gym first. And then I was reading because I like to like see like basically like I was like, okay, I feel like I'm in the wrong spot. So I went and checked the map, and I was like, oh, okay, I have to technically. You don't have to fight them in this order, but you should, like, the recommended path of, like, them growing in skill is this order. And I was like, oh, I'm starting at the gym that would be number 3. And then, technically, though, my Pokemon were strong enough at that point because I just have so much experience in items that I could have technically fought them, but I chose not to.
Yep.
But I will say, even though it does seem a little like give me, I have been having a lot of fun, especially where I'm trying to like get the complete the Pokedex, which I love the Pokedex in this game, where it's like every time you get a Pokemon, it's like another volume in a bookshelf. I love that. That's my favorite part about the Pokedex.
Do the Pokemon designs get any better? Because I think the starters are the ugliest starters we've ever had in a game.
I will say, I ended up going with I forget his name. The fire type one.
Fire Totodile, who looks uglier.
I mean, like, I don't think it's not my favorite group of starters, but
Do the other original Pokemon look any better? Cause
I mean, like, there's definitely some cute. Like, one of the ones is like it's like an olive, and then it gets like it's an olive and it's really cute, and then its evolved form is also really cute. There's some that are goofy.
They should bring back the trash Pokemon.
Grimer. I saw Grimer.
No, he's the... I know.
Oh, Garbodor?
Yeah, the garbage.
I hope Garbodor...
That's just a pile of trash.
Garbodor was in Sword and Shield, so maybe he might be in this game. I haven't, like... There's so much to, like, explore in the game.
Yep.
But, I don't know.
They did keep the open-ended aspect from Arceus, so that's something at least.
Yeah. It's very much, you can do a lot. There's a lot of place to travel, and it's kind of the same. I will say they kind of did pull from Arceus with that, where your Pokemon you get, like, instead of getting new Pokemon to help you travel around, you just level up your Pokemon, so you can traverse the territory, like, the terrain better, so it's definitely...
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it did pull some things from Arceus, but I think it more pulled stuff from Sword and Shield.
I think they were both made at the same time.
Yeah, I think so too. But I don't know. I've been really enjoying
That's
it.
the real reason why they didn't make the Diamond and Pearl remakes, because they were already making 2 games.
Yeah.
That's my theory here, anyways.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know what the sad part is, though? The fact that these games are released in the state they did proves one thing.
what?
Game Freak can be lazy, and Nintendo won't do a thing because they're gonna still sell money because
Oh,
Pokemon
yeah.
games just print money.
And I think honestly, like Scarlet and Violet sold even more just for the fact of the glitches.
Maybe it's hard to say because people went and bought Pokemon games. Just print money. Like people will buy them even if the games are garbage
Yeah.
because it's Pokemon.
Yeah.
And it's like even the glitches haven't deterred people. Like it's not a
Well-
Bethesda game where it's like people are tired of the whole glitches are funny, right?
Yeah. Well, it is funny too. Like I didn't like. We noticed that Violet was selling so much more than Scarlet.
Yeah, you couldn't find Violet anywhere,
Anywhere.
for like a while.
My mom was super sweet and got it for me for Christmas, and I have Violet, but she got me the Violet and Scarlet double pack. So in theory, I could go back and play it again with Scarlet, which I might do. I don't know. I've been having fun. I've been enjoying it. I do think though the Pokemon series now is very like give me.
It's meant for kids. They're really catering to the younger audience right now.
I just wish there was a little more challenge to it, especially with just like I feel like I don't know. I don't think you need the XP share if you have all these XP candies and stuff. Like, I just think there's things that they could pull back on.
I mean, you can turn it off.
Oh, you can?
You can in the older games. I don't know about the new ones.
I don't know. I think it's just automatic.
Uh,
Yeah, because I never turned it on,
back
regardless.
when they first introduced like the everyone gets XP system, you could turn it off.
I don't think so anymore.
Ugh.
Because I've never, unless you go into the settings, but
Great.
yeah. I don't know. I'm
Great.
not sure about that.
You know,
I didn't think it was an option.
It's really funny because that's just a mechanic. That's like a mechanic in most RPGs, but for some reason in Pokemon, it just makes the game too easy.
Well, I think, yeah, I don't know.
It's sad though because these games sold very well, and
Yeah.
the state they were released in, I was like, "That's embarrassing, Nintendo." Like, you should be you should be embarrassed, but nope, they made money, so they don't care.
You gotta put like the Krusty Krab, Mr. Krabs things where it's like, I like money.
Yeah, the whole why did you release 2 Pokemon games in the same year? Money.
Money.
It's like, yeah, because my God, like some Pokemon games I've thought were like I've been like, wow, they really phoned this one in. But then like this one comes out, I'm like, holy crap, they just didn't give a crap this time around.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, it still sold extremely well. It's like, well,
Well,
Game Freak doesn't have to try because they don't need to, apparently.
nope.
If it's not obvious, I'm not the biggest fan of Game Freak as a company.
You're not really a Pokemon fan.
Well, it's not even
anymore either.
I like the Pokemon spin-offs. I'm a huge fan of Creatures Inc.
What's that?
That's the other company that makes Pokemon.
Oh.
You know, whenever you start up a Pokemon game, it always says Game Freak, Nintendo, the Pokemon company, Creatures Inc.
Sure.
Creatures Inc. does a lot of the background stuff, but they also make a lot of the spin-offs, and all the spin-offs I prefer.
Yeah, I
all the
meant
time.
more of like what the spin-offs were you talking about?
Oh, like Pokemon, the trading card game, like Pokemon Ranger, like all those.
Oh, okay.
I just think Creatures does more, puts more effort into stuff, but that's besides the point. That's a hot take, anyways.
Hot take, hot take. Hot.
But yeah, so I'll maybe play this game in like 30 years when I feel like playing
I
it.
don't know. I definitely think it's fun. I think you gotta go into it with the mindset of like, okay.
The problem is I'm playing Black and White right now, and everything about it is just like, wow, this is such a better game.
I don't know. I think you gotta try it before you give it a true opinion.
I don't know. I think I'm just over Pokemon at this point.
Well, Pokemon's over you too.
It is. They've moved on to a younger demographic. Moving on.
Duck sound.
So yeah, Pokemon. It drains all my energy for some reason.
And now we finally recapped an episode 100 or something episodes
Yeah, you know,
later.
Episode 8 or 6, whatever it was.
Yeah, and we were like, yeah, and we'll bring it back up later.
Yeah, when we play them, and it's like 100 episodes later or something. I don't know.
Yikers.
But yeah.
We
Pokemon.
won't be doing any more reviews anytime
Yeah, I think
soon.
I think we're finally. You know, how many times have we said we're done with Pokemon for the time being at this
No,
point?
because we're gonna have to do another Pokemon for all the
Discussing every Pokemon.
discussing every we gotta finish it, Bill. We gotta finish it.
Let's take a little break first. Let's give our.
I want to finish the game first before.
Let's give our mother a break because she's enjoying not having to listen to those. But anyways, guys, once again, thanks for joining us on the Gaming and Collecting Podcast. The Gaming and Collecting Podcast can be found on all your major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple Podcast and Spotify. We're made with Anchor Podcast, and you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter along with Good Pods. And until next time, guys, we will see you all later.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.